What's up YouTube? Dougie Chong here. Welcome to today's episode where I'll be reviewing the stock of one of the biggest search engine companies in the world, Google. Technically, the parent company is called Alphabet, but their main product is the website www.google.com. I'm sure it needs no introduction, but the search engine Google is used to type a few keywords into the search engine and then it finds you the web pages you want. For example, if you wanted to find out how Google stock was doing, you might type it in the search engine, how is Google stock doing, and you might see 3 or 4 video links, maybe a few articles that you can click on. The exact details of how the algorithm works, that takes a few keywords and gives you the exact web pages you want from the entire World Wide Web, is out of the scope of this video. But let's just say Google has the best algorithm. There's a few others, there's DuckDuckGo and Bing, but Google's results are typically the best. So now that you know how the main product of Google works, let's get into how the business model works. How does Google make money from their search engine? Well, the answer is actually very simple. There's a few ads at the top of every search result, and the advertisers have to pay Google a hefty sum to have their ads featured on Google's web pages. Alright, let's look at some of the revenues for Google now. In Q4, they made about $27.2 billion just from the advertising from Google search. YouTube, the platform I'm using now, generated about $4.7 billion in advertising dollars. If you didn't know, YouTube is owned by Google. There's an additional $6 billion from network advertising. I don't exactly know what network advertising is, but you can just see that overall, Google makes a lot of money from ads. So if we enter a recession, the advertising industry will definitely be hit. A lot of companies will be slashing their advertising budgets, which will hurt Google's bottom line. But it's not like people will stop using Google or YouTube. They're both free products to use, and if anything, people will be using YouTube more since they are cooped up inside. Alright, so now let's take a look at Google's price chart. They've been as high as about $1,500 recently, and they closed the day a little over $1,000. That represents about a 30% price cut from their highs. If we look even further back, the stock of Google has been at $1,000 or higher for the past 3 years. And if we look at the PE ratio for Google, it's about 21, which is about average for a company, maybe even a little on the high side. So it's not really at a huge discount right now, but it is a fairly valued company. Now let's get into the main thing that caught my attention about Google. It's the fact that Google has one of the best balance sheets in the world. In times of crisis, it's very important to have a large pile of cash, a good balance sheet, and not much debt so that you can continue operations until the economy gets better. So looking at the balance sheet, Google has about $120 billion in cash and only about $45 billion in current liabilities. Most companies these days have liabilities that are way more than the cash that they have on hand. This tells me that if Google's revenues completely dropped, went to zero for the entire year, which is not going to happen, but let's say that did happen, they'd have enough cash to get by and continue until the next year. They actually have so much cash that they do things called moonshot projects. A moonshot project, any other company would call it like R&D. They kind of research and see if it'll go somewhere, but Google calls it moonshots because they're really outrageous. And a lot of times they don't even go anywhere. They just have extra cash to spend and they use it on these moonshot projects. One of the interesting moonshots that I saw was I think called Google Work. I think it was supposed to kind of match up companies with potential employees. I actually went to a conference. There was someone speaking about it from that division of Google Work. And he was very passionate about the project. He had led a whole team. And then I think a few months later, the whole project was just cut, axed completely from Google. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was just about automating or improving the workflow of hiring employees. I don't think it was actually matching it. I'm not quite sure, but the point is they completely destroyed the product. So I believe that Google stock is a good stock to buy because they have a good product that I use and believe in, both YouTube and Google search, and the product will weather the storm of a coronavirus crisis. The second point is that they have a lot of cash and a strong balance sheet without much debt. And the third point is that they are a very fairly valued company. They might not be at a massive discount as some other companies are, but they definitely will not need a bailout. I will end the video by going over the trades I did in my simulated portfolio today. For those of you that don't know, the simulated portfolio started with $100,000 about 3 months ago. So today, I bought the stock Triple M or 3M. I bought 5 shares of it for $123.24. It has since come down about 5%, but this is a good buy. I made a whole video about this. I'll leave it in the link if you want more information. The second trade is Google. I did get 1 share of it for $1,014. It is slightly up, but I will wait until it goes lower than $1,000, I think, to buy more. And the final trade is Boeing. I actually sold this at about $103. This is because it was just a purely speculative play. I really don't believe too much in the company Boeing, and it was up, so I just sold my small position. All told, the account value went up about $1,000 today, and the equity of the portfolio is about $87,000. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you learned a lot about Google stock. What do you think about Google stock? Is it a buy now? Let me know in the comments below. As always, leave a like if this video helped you at all, and subscribe if you have not already. Thanks again for watching. Till next time.